And it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the 10th of April 2018. I was only going to do 2 videos today, but I've just seen the news, and this stuff that's happening in Syria, it's really made me think, okay, let's have a look at the horoscope of Bashar Assad, the President of Syria. Born on the 11th of September 1965, no known birth time, in Damascus in Syria. I wouldn't mind betting with his height and his legs that he's either got Sagittarius rising or Capricorn rising, probably Capricorn. Pure guesswork on my part. Doesn't really matter. He's born on the day of the full moon. He's got the sun in Virgo, the moon in Pisces. Now, his chart is a difficult one. He's got the sun conjunct Uranus and Pluto, opposite Saturn and Chiron. And he's also got the moon in Pisces, and if he's born in the afternoon, which I think he was, he's got the moon conjunct Ceres. Now, he's always been under the influence of his mother, who died a couple of years ago. I try my hardest to be objective here, but whenever I see anybody with the sun conjunct Pluto and Uranus opposite Saturn, this is a sub-generation that's born over 64, 65, 66, and those people born around the 7th to the 20th of September, 7th to the 15th of September, and the 7th to the 15th of March were always born with the sun strongly with Saturn, Pluto and Uranus, especially in 65, but to a lesser extent in 64 and 66 as well. It's a sub-generation. Some of them have really turned this around and become fantastic engineers, black belt in judo and karate, brilliant psychologists, incredible world leaders, politicians, lawyers, people who bring structure, effort, self-discipline into their lives. Others have become paranoid wrecks, fanatical tyrants and despots. With the sun conjunct Pluto and Uranus, there is no half measures about him. It's his way or no way, all or nothing, yes, no, black, white. Not necessarily a bad thing. Merciless and mercenary is cruel and callous. It doesn't care. Ruthless does care. It can be empathic and compassionate, but also yes, no, black, white at the same time. I suspect that he's not ruthless, that he is mercenary and merciless, especially with the sun opposite Saturn and opposite the moon opposite Pluto as well. The thing is, you don't know who to trust in the media anymore. Everyone has their political agenda when they report things. But if he has carried out the chemical attacks that he's been reported as doing, not just this last few weeks, but in many times before as well, then it shows that A, he has no care about what anyone else thinks about him, B, that he is ruthless, and C, that he has a psychological disposition to cruelty. Noel Tile, one of the greatest astrologers of all time, I believe he's still alive in America, he calls him a ruthless despot. I wouldn't quite go that far myself, although once I'm Noel's age I probably would. I think that President Assad of Syria is a cold, calculating person who's very good at playing people off against each other. He's dedicated towards his own survival. I think he doesn't even care about his family. One of his brothers died in a car crash, the brother who was going to become president. His younger brother died under mysterious circumstances. His sister's husband was blown up and his sister escaped by moving to Dubai. So I get the impression that President Assad is very much a cabal figurehead, and the numbers of people in that cabal are one. Thing is, looking at his horoscope, he had his chances over the last few years. With Pluto trining his sun, sextiling his Saturn, over the last couple of years, he's had the opportunity to reel himself in, to step back and it appears that he's not taken them. So now I'm looking at, with Neptune now having just finished with his Saturn, Neptune is now opposing his Uranus and his Pluto, which is not a particularly good transit for rational, cool, calculated, objective decisions. Next year, Neptune will oppose his Sun. The following year, Neptune will probably conjunct his Chiron and his Moon. He will play anyone against anyone. Doesn't matter if they're Russian, American, Iranian, where the money comes from, doesn't matter. I also think this is not a guy who's got very long left. If I were advising him, which I'm obviously not, I'd be saying to him, the best thing you can do now is metaphorically take the money and run. Find yourself a safe haven and retreat for the rest of your life, because the more you stay where you are, the more isolated you're going to become, and you will find that your lifespan will be shortened one way or another. I'm sure there's people out there, and there's a number of them who write it on this blog, saying that the Russians are the good guys and that Syria's done nothing wrong and it's all an American stroke British Israeli plot. They may be right. But the world opinion is that Assad is a tyrant and a despot and a monster. And it seems to me that when you're bombing your own people with chemical weapons, your time's limited. Can't see him being around more than another 18 months. Sorry to say that, but watch this space world. Catch you later. Bye.